Creamer Media's Mining Weekly is interviewing Jan Nelson, the CEO of Copper 360. And we're interviewing Jan on the opportunities that new technology is presenting to South Africa's mining industry. Hi, Jan, it's great to chat to you once again. Why is it important for mining to embrace new technology?
Hi, Martin. Thank you. Martin, I think that, the world, as you know, is getting more demanding for productivity, but the world is also more demanding in terms of how you source your product and how you deliver your product to the world. And the only competitive advantage I think that we have as an industry is technology to help us keep up with productivity, competition, and the sustainability issue of the world. And, mining has lagged behind, but if we look at what the tech companies have done, then what an opportunity does mining not have, and how competitive and sustainability can it not become? So we have no other choice but to embrace technology.
And what is being made possible through the introduction of new technology that was not previously possible?
Well, Martin, I think first of all, it starts with productivity. One can do much better planning with technology. We can track employees, we can see where they are, we can optimize how they work, and with that goes improved safety. You can have with these trackers on your employees, see whether they're in areas they shouldn't be. There can be certain warnings that can come. And with these smart watches, can you imagine every one of your employees has got a smart watch? You can track their well-being, their heart rate, but you can also send them notifications and warnings if they enter a certain section of the mine, and that is something that we couldn't do before. Then you look at the issue of sustainability, the introduction of battery-operated vehicles, which brings down your ventilation demand, for example, by 50 to 60% in your mine. And that, again, leads to lower costs, more productivity. And autonomous mining also allows us to go and mine in areas that we could never mine before, smaller mining widths where humans couldn't get in. This leads to more volume, more productivity, lower cost, and just helps us be much more competitive. So there's a number of areas where it impacts.
And then looking at specific technologies, for instance, the Internet of Things, in what way can the Internet of Things improve things?
Well, Martin, the Internet, as I see it, is almost like a spider web. So it connects all these technologies. If you have smart wristwatches on your employees, if you track them, your autonomous vehicles, autonomous mining, it connects all of these things, and it helps us be preventive instead of reactive, because we can see things that are going to happen and we can stop them in time. But also, we can have improved and faster decision making. And with AI linked to that, we can run scenarios, optimization in real time that actually will help us run a much better, improved operation.
And then looking at blockchain technology, what is blockchain technology bringing to mining?
Well, I think it creates a digital record of everything. So from where you start ordering your parts all the way through to processing and extraction. And it helps you optimize, because have you ordered the right part? How long does that part last? What's the durability of it? It keeps that record, but I think it also keeps everybody to account in the new world where, accountability and sustainability is important. And then with all that information comes the fact that you can optimize your operation in a secure manner. And I think that is the beauty of blockchain. And blockchain technology is extremely efficient to roll into your operations and doesn't cost a lot of money.
And then you're speaking about that spider web, which got me thinking, is it essential that the Internet of Things, the blockchain, the robotics, the artificial intelligence, in other words, the collection of state-of-the-art technologies, is it essential that it be deployed collectively for the overall outcome to be most effective?
I think if we had all the money and all the time in the world, yes. It would be fantastic to just snap your finger and roll it up. But that's not, I think, the way it's going to happen. And certainly not how we've planned it. I think there's a progression. And part of that comes with proper planning and training. Your people are going to fulfill a different role. You have to prepare well for this. I think if you just roll these technologies out without training your people, setting them up, there's going to have to be role job description changes. And I think if that's not properly planned, then I think you're going to spend a lot of money, be frustrated, and then say the technology doesn't really work for me. So I think it's going to have to be rolled out in a sequential manner. But you also need your people to get used to these systems. You can't just bombard them with everything in one go. So I think there's going to be a progressive sequential rollout, and that's how we see it to be the most efficient.
And talking about people and jobs, will new technology create more jobs than it eliminates?
Martin, I think so. There's always this scary thing that people think with technology comes fewer jobs. But I think what technology allows us, and if you look at the tech companies of all the little tech toys they've supplied us and gadgets that we have, we as human beings are able to do more and be more efficient. And so I think we're going to use more of our people, but we're going to use them in different roles. And that's why training becomes important. We've got the School of Mining, which will target that. And think about South Africa, think about the high employment rate. Now, just think, if you take all those unemployed people and you make them tech savvy, just think what a competitive advantage we have, because the more people you then throw at the problem, the better, bigger, and better your mining operation will become.
And then looking specifically at your company, Copper 360, how far has Copper 360 traveled along the new technology road to date? And what are Copper 360's technology aspirations going forward into the future?
Martin, we've started with our mineral resource program, and that was the first low-hanging fruit for technology. And we've got these computer modeling programs that can now, through AI, model your ore body in a very optimized way, and it helps with the mine planning. So we've started rolling out the AI technology in terms of our mining and how we model and plan our ore bodies. The next step will be employee tracking and well-being, because that's a very important step for the productivity of the organization. We're going to look at that. Towards the end of the year, we'll start looking at battery-operated vehicles underground. And I think we're busy considering appointing a chief technology officer, because you need somebody to drive this with expertise that can guide the organization. So we've already started, a lot of work still to be done, but that's where the real opportunity lies for a company like ours. And what it does, it allows a small company to suddenly start being very competitive against major companies with this technology if you use it in the right way.
And finally, Jan, what in your view should be the biggest takeaway from this interview now?
Martin, I think the fact that mining is going to become the future of the world, an industry where we will now create, through technology, a full cycle business where we will extract the product, we'll mine it, through vertical integration with technology, we'll create the products that we can sell, but we can also recycle them. So there will be a much more efficient use of our metals, which will have a far lesser impact on the earth, more sustainable. And so it will solve the real world problems. We all have to go green, but we can't go green without the metals. But the mining industry can really lead the way here and create a sustainable future for our children. And that's the industry I want to be involved in.
That was Creamer Media's Mining Weekly, speaking to Jan Nelson, the CEO of Copper 360, the JSE AltX-listed Northern Cape copper producer.